can just 3 minutes a day really make you feel 30 years younger. If you're watching this, chances are you've had those days where your body just doesn't move like it used to. Maybe your knees ache, your balance feels off, or everyday tasks like climbing stairs or carrying groceries suddenly feel more difficult. You're not alone. But what if I told you that even at 84 you could start feeling more like you did at 50 just by making a few simple changes? No gimmicks, no complicated routines, just 5 easy daily habits, each taking about 3 minutes or less, that can start to rewind the way your body feels. In this video, I'm going to walk you through those 5 powerful practices, backed by real results from real people. These aren't magic tricks, but if you stay consistent, you might just be surprised by how much stronger, more energized, and more confident you start to feel. Let me be upfront, this isn't a miracle cure, but the effects, they're very real. You might notice you're waking up with less stiffness. You may find you're walking longer distances without feeling winded, or maybe you simply feel like you're back in control of your body again, something that too often slips away with age. The truth is, feeling younger isn't about chasing youth. It's about keeping your strength, your energy, and your spark. And the best part? You don't need a gym, supplements, or a personal trainer. All you need is a little commitment, consistency, and 3 focused minutes a day. Stick with me until the end. Each step builds on the last. And by the time we get to number 5, you might just find yourself feeling better than you did 20 years ago. 1. Morning joint activation. One of the most common reasons we feel stiff and slow in the morning has nothing to do with muscle weakness. It's about joints that haven't woken up yet. When we sleep, the fluid in our joints thickens, almost like syrup on a cold morning. So when you roll out of bed and try to move too fast, it's no wonder your knees creak or your back tightens up. The solution? A 3-minute morning movement ritual that gently activates your joints and gets your body ready for the day. Here's how. Sit at the edge of your bed. Slowly rotate your ankles 10 times in each direction. Move your knees. Gently twist your torso side to side. Roll your shoulders. Turn your neck gently left and right. You don't need yoga mats or fancy gear, just a little patience and motion. These movements get your joint fluid moving again, reduce that grinding feeling, and help you start your day on steadier feet. But there's more. This routine also signals your brain that it's time to wake up. For those in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, that matters. These movements can boost balance, coordination, and mental clarity, helping you shake off that morning fog. I knew a man named Edward, 81 years old, who used to need help just getting out of bed. After just 2 weeks of this morning habit, he was not only getting up on his own, he was back to making breakfast for his wife. That's the power of just 3 mindful minutes. The goal here isn't to stretch like a gymnast, it's to feel stable, alert, and confident as you start your day. And most importantly, it helps lower your risk of falls, which is key to maintaining independence as we age. Remember, your body isn't fragile, it's responsive. It doesn't wear out from being used, it wears out from being ignored. Think of this like oiling a machine. A little movement keeps everything running smoothly. 2. The deep breathing, reset. When we think about energy, we usually think food or sleep. But oxygen is just as important, and how you breathe in the morning can shape how your entire day feels. Most of us fall into shallow breathing without realizing it. And shallow breaths actually send stress signals to the body even when we're calm. That's why starting your day with a short, deep breathing practice can have such a big impact. Here's what to do. Sit in a chair or on the bed with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes and rest your hands gently on your belly. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your belly rise. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Do this for about 3 minutes. That's it. This practice can lower stress hormones, calm your nervous system, and help you feel grounded before the chaos of the day even starts. Take Linda, for example. She was 77 and started every morning with a racing heart. Her doctor ran tests, but everything came back normal. Turns out it wasn't her heart, it was anxiety. Once she began doing this breathing reset each morning, her mornings transformed. No more panic, just peace. Breathing may seem too simple to matter, but when done with intention, it can recharge your system, lower blood pressure, and set a positive tone for your whole day. She told me something I'll never forget. My mornings feel completely different now. I don't feel like I'm chasing the day. I feel like I'm leading it. That's a powerful shift. And it all started with something as simple as deep, mindful breathing. The key isn't to overthink it. You don't need to follow a strict pattern or force your breath in any weird way. Just inhale slowly through your nose, then exhale even slower through your mouth. Let every breath out feel like a gentle release. What's happening here? You're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that says you're safe, you're calm, you're in control. And as we get older, that message becomes even more important. Our bodies become more sensitive to stress. Something as small as a phone call, an old memory, or even silence can trigger a rush of adrenaline. But with this simple breathing practice, you create a buffer. You teach your body that not every little thing needs a big reaction. That calm, that control, but that's where your real strength lives. So don't brush this off just because it sounds easy. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful and the most overlooked. If you stick with just 3 minutes of deep breathing each morning, you will feel a difference. Maybe not on day 1, but by day 5, you might find your mornings feeling less like a scramble and more like a steady rhythm. And that rhythm becomes your power. If you're still watching and this has resonated with you, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss helpful tips like this one. Your support keeps us going and helps us create more content to inspire and empower you. 3. The morning leg. Wake up. There's something truly amazing about waking up your legs the right way. Most people go from bed straight to the kitchen and into their day without giving their legs a second thought. But here's the thing. Your legs are like the roots of a tree. If they're stiff, tight, or weak, everything above starts to feel off balance too. I've seen it so many times, people struggling with posture, balance, even energy, and it all comes down to how their legs are treated in those first few minutes of the day. Take Walter, for example. He's 64, and he used to feel like he was dragging around heavy weights instead of legs. He blamed age, arthritis, even his shoes. But the real game changer, a simple 3-minute activation routine every morning. Nothing fancy, just seated marches, gentle toe raises slow, standing calf lifts, holding on to a chair for support. Within a few weeks, his balance improved. He told me, "It feels like my legs actually want to move again." That kind of shift doesn't come from expensive gadgets or miracle pills. It comes from small, consistent habits. And no, this routine doesn't need to be intense or painful. If it is, you're doing it wrong. What matters is connection and control. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice your calves tightening. Let your thighs join in and remind them, hey, I still need you today. That connection between your brain and your legs is everything. It's like flipping a switch, and the earlier you flip that switch, the better your whole day feels. Why is this so effective? Because blood flow equals energy. When your leg muscles engage, they pull fresh blood through your lower body, which helps strengthen muscles, support joint health, boost nerve communication, improve circulation, especially helpful for swelling, numbness, or foot pain. This tiny habit tells your body, we're up, we're grounded, we're ready. People always ask me, what's the best exercise for aging legs? And my answer is always the same. The one you'll actually do. You don't need a gym, you don't need loud music, and you definitely don't need someone yelling at you to push harder. You just need 3 quiet minutes and a little consistency, because strong legs aren't just about looking fit, they're about freedom. Freedom to walk where you want, freedom to carry your own groceries, freedom to get up from a chair without needing help. If you haven't given your legs a proper wake-up in a while, make tomorrow morning your first step. You don't need a perfect routine, just a start. 3 minutes a day, that's it. And you'll be amazed at how much power is still waiting in those steps. 4. The anti-inflammatory breakfast choice. Let's talk food, specifically how what you eat in the morning can either fuel your day or quietly sabotage it. Here's the truth. One of the biggest hidden enemies of aging legs is inflammation. It doesn't always show up with pain right away. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, stiffening your joints, draining your energy, and weakening your muscles over time. And believe it or not, so much of that inflammation starts not in your knees, but on your plate, especially at breakfast. That first meal of the day, it sets your entire rhythm. If you're starting your morning with refined carbs, sugary cereals, or inflammatory oils, your body is already working overtime before you've even left the house. When you start your day with sugary cereals, white toast, or sweetened yogurts, you're sending your body a message, get ready for a slow, achy kind of day. But here's the good news, even one small change at breakfast can make a big difference. That's where anti-inflammatory foods come in, especially wild blueberries. They may look like simple little berries, but don't let their size fool you. They're packed with powerful compounds that fight oxidative stress and calm inflammation throughout your body, especially in those hard-working lower joints. I remember a woman named Elaine, 77 years old and still committed to her morning walks. But by evening, her knees would swell, and she assumed it was just part of getting older. When we looked at her diet, I noticed she was starting her mornings with sweetened yogurt and white toast. So we made a small switch. A bowl of oats topped with wild blueberries, a few walnuts, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. That's it. And within weeks, she told me something amazing. She could walk nearly twice as far without that deep, nagging ache in her legs. It wasn't magic, it was science. And a small shift in how she chose to fuel her body. The best part? These foods aren't hard to find. You can grab frozen wild blueberries from just about any grocery store. They don't need to be organic or expensive, just consistent, because when you give your body what it needs to fight inflammation, it responds, not just in how you feel, but in how you move, stand, and recover after a long day. And wild blueberries are just the beginning. Other powerful anti-inflammatory options include turmeric chia, seeds, dark leafy greens. You can toss them into a smoothie, mix them into warm oats, or add them to eggs or toast. The method doesn't matter as much as the habit, because over time, these small morning choices become a powerful foundation for strong, flexible, dependable legs. If you're still with me and these tips are hitting home, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss out on future videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating helpful, uplifting content for you. 5. Omega-3s from cold water. Fish, nature really does provide what we need. We just have to know where to look. When it comes to keeping your legs strong, stable, and pain-free, few things are more powerful than cold water fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These aren't just foods, they're like natural medicine for your joints, circulation, and muscle health. One of the biggest reasons older adults start to feel heavy legs, fatigue, or weakness isn't just muscle loss, it's poor circulation. As we age, inflammation in our blood vessels can slow things down and your legs are often the first to feel it because they're the furthest from your heart. But omega-3 fatty acids, abundant in cold water fish, help relax those blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and allow more oxygen-rich blood to flow down to your lower limbs. I once knew a man named Walter, 82 years old. He said, "Climbing stairs feels like I'm hauling sandbags." He wasn't overweight, and he didn't have arthritis, but his doctor told him his circulation was slowing down. So Walter made a small shift. He started eating grilled salmon twice a week with vegetables. He didn't expect much, but after 2 months, he called me and said something I'll never forget. "My legs don't argue with me anymore, they cooperate." That change didn't come from a fancy supplement. It came from steady, nourishing omega-3s doing their job. They helped reduce the inflammation in his blood vessels and gave his muscles the support they needed to recover and stay strong. And if you're not a fan of fish, no problem. Algae-based omega-3 supplements are a great alternative. Even canned sardines, cheap and shelf-stable, can work wonders if you include them regularly. Just remember, it's not only about adding the good, it's also about cutting back on the bad. Walter also reduced his intake of red meat and processed deli meats, foods that can thicken the blood and constrict circulation. So if strong, energized legs are your goal, look to the sea. Whether it's salmon, sardines, or supplements, adding omega-3s consistently is one of the smartest things you can do for lifelong mobility. Final thoughts. So let me ask you, what stood out the most to you today? Was it the power of beets to support blood flow, the impact of a few spoonfuls of chia seeds, or maybe how turmeric quietly fights off inflammation? Whatever it was, here's the takeaway. Big results come from small, consistent steps. Even in your 70s and 80s, you can feel stronger, steadier, and more energized without extreme routines or expensive supplements. You don't need to chase youth. You just need to honor your body and give it the quiet support it's been asking for. Because age doesn't define strength. Habits do. And when your legs feel strong, you move differently. You feel more confident. You're more likely to walk outside, to stand taller, to rise from a chair without hesitation. That independence, that freedom, that's priceless. So here's my challenge to you. Pick just one food we talked about today. Add it to your day, even in the smallest way. And over the next few weeks, see how your body responds, not because I said so, but because you'll feel it. And when you do, come back and tell us, leave a comment below, and share what stood out and how you plan to use it. Your feedback means the world and keeps this community strong and growing. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.